Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well. We got a little smaller crowd than last week. I guess everyone cares more about the hurricane prep. Goodness. So we'll go ahead and see if we have any resident announcements, and then we'll roll into a couple updates from our leadership team. Do we have any? Yes, Miss Mary? We'll get you a mic. There you go.
Hi, I'm looking for volunteers to help stuff the little things on the elevator with pamphlets. And what we thought we'd do with some of us that met together before is we can have one person do each wing on the north and then one person do the south. And I'd like to get a name of backups to people that we can call if we're unable to do it. So please see me after the meeting and sign up. Thanks.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Any other announcements? Candy. Candy has an announcement. Can you believe it?
I am not asking you for anything. I'm going to thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause for getting your surveys in. We had really good response, and they're being tabulated. So thank you again for doing that.
Mary, thank you. All right, any other resident announcements? All right, we will go ahead and get started with some updates. So quick reminder, please do silence your cell phones or any of the various equipment you have on you that might make some noise. So we just wanted to share these. This absolutely made my day last week. I was just doing my rounds. I like to walk in between the buildings and kind of get some steps in. I walk outside. I couldn't believe this big, beautiful peacock was right there in the breezeway, hanging out with us. So we had some beautiful photos. Thank you, Miss Rosa, for sharing them. They're absolutely gorgeous, and we have them on our Facebook as well. And just wanted to share. And absolutely beautiful. Our landscaping looks fantastic and lush and green. So I was just really happy to see that and wanted to share it with you. So just a little reminder, your weekly reminder, to make sure that we do return any of those items we have in the service areas. That's our luggage carts, our wheelchairs, and any of those other items. So please do make sure we are returning those. We continue to remind all of our visitors and various guests not to touch them. Not to touch them. Don't touch them. So just a quick reminder from Betsy. Again, this is coming up, so we just wanted to remind you, residents are requested to push their daily check-in buttons between 5 and 9:59 a.m. A report is then sent to the front desk of residents that did not check in at 10. Usually any given day, there's about 20 to 40 residents we're just double checking on, which is a lot, right? So this is why we continue to ask to please, between that time frame, the receptionist must call each of those residents. We want to make sure we can connect. We want to make sure you're accounted for. We know if you're not here or not. But we're requesting that you do not stop by the desk, pick up packages, dry cleaning stamps, or any other non-urgent business during that time. So it's that 30-minute window, really, that it takes them to call our residents to check on them, but we're just asking that we don't inundate those front desks in order for them to do so. So we do appreciate your cooperation and understanding. It's a really important task, and we do it every single day. So again, we just ask for that cooperation from you all, and thank you in advance. Another reminder, we recently released the new resident pendants. We do have, they came on an actual string, but you could also get them as a wrist strap. So the strings came with the actual project, so we were able to get those included in the pricing. Anything that we purchased afterwards is extra, so that is why there is a fee, not because we're trying to make a bunch of money off of you, but because that is what it cost us. So if you do want the wrist strap, the actual lanyard or neck piece is free, but the wrist strap is $20. So please see the front desk and let them know if you'd like one, so we can get that order placed in July. We have to place kind of a bulk order. We can't So let them know, and we'll get it placed for you all and get you that wrist strap. Again, you can see the front desk and let them know, and we'll get that order placed in July. So if this is something that we continue to work on, it's been on our resident survey every couple of years, and it's about IT services, and that's something that we've had the Mrs. Mary Ellen's group come. It's something that we have had from the various high school teams that come, high school students, but we actually now have a sister community that hired Mr. Daniel. And he is not our employee, he is an employee of another sister community within IHS. But we have him as an extra resource if you are wanting that additional assistance. It is for a fee through IHS, but it is an actual IT specialist. So that is someone that can help with any of those things. So we continue to work on increasing our services, the more the merrier. I know we have Miss Mary Ellen's team. I know we have our high school team that come out and assist, but I think you can all agree we can never have too many services. So this is something that actually our corporate resident services reached out and said, do you think this is something your residents can use? And I worked with Christine, and so it is something that we can offer you, and you would just see Christine at extension 502. So just again, another resource that we can help with, and that is through IHS. Not our guy, completely, but we do have him as a resource. Pets again, your weekly reminder, please remember to clean up after them. Our housekeeping is not here to clean up after your pets. That is your responsibility. If you do need assistance, we highly recommend you hiring IHS for any help walking or cleaning. And please again, just remember to keep them out of the dining areas. We did want to welcome for Environmental Services a manager update to please help welcome Amy Bodway to Regency Oaks team as our Environmental Services Manager. You will have the opportunity to meet with her at the weekly Keeping Up with Housekeeping that takes place every Wednesday in Grand Lobby South at 10:30. Amy will help support the team's efforts in ensuring that our community is clean and beautiful, and she is currently training right now with Evan. You'll see her around. We are continuing to focus on the community. We are doing some routine power washing in the north front porch and then the south front porch, and then we'll be touching those breezeways this Friday. We'll also be doing the north elevators, south elevators, and various stairwells through the campus. So we're going to begin those in the south building around usually about 8 a.m. and then we'll move throughout the community in order to get some of those areas touched and cleaned up. So just a little update from Plant. They had about 151 completed work orders, 64 remain open. TK Elevators did repair elevator number 5 and 3, and then also number 1 and 2. There was some various preventative maintenance we needed to do. We completed 4 unit turnovers in our independent living apartments for new resident move-ins. We did have electric repair for the circuit in the salon. Clearwater Plumbing, we had some major issues in that men's restroom in the north lobby, so we got that repaired. Replaced 3 new HVAC AC units in our new unit turnovers. We did have to repair the walk-in cooler in the north kitchen. We did have to repair a steamer in the north kitchen and a drainage clean out. That kitchen's running us, has us busy. And then final walkthroughs, we are still completing, of course, on the restoration for all of the blue team work on the various projects that we have going on with them. And then, as always, your reminder, maintenance meeting with Chris is every Friday at 10:30 for all residents to attend with any maintenance and grounds questions or concerns. So again, just a little bit of update from Blue Team, Phase 1.5. Residents that received that work in Phase 1 do have to have Blue Team come back to do additional work. This is not requiring you to leave the apartment. Notices were completed yesterday to those affected in the north building. South will be notified shortly. So we are walking through that process. Betsy's been helping communicate that. We were able to bring down that number of units affected significantly. So she'll be communicating with you if that happens to have anything to do with your home. But it doesn't necessarily require you to be relocating. There is just some additional punch items that they're needing to address. So as far as the roof, we'll get into a little bit about that, but we are now, we discussed this, right? We are in the rainy season, we know that. Wasn't ideal, wasn't our choice, just happened to be when the insurance adjusters finally approved for the work and the scope to be set. So we're doing it right in the middle of rainy season. It will not be done by hurricane season, but we will, it will not be. But we will be getting it done. So they are here, they are working on it, but any given day it will be different based on weather. So we'll go into a little bit of that, but we're getting lots of questions about that. I wish the timeline would go as perfectly as it did on the 59 walks that I did with Blue Team, but that's not the case. It is about that many that we've done. And so it really, I hate saying it is what it is, but this instance it really is. So we'll go over a little bit about that, but I just wanted to mention that because we're getting lots of questions. Like, they've been here, why haven't they started? It stopped raining. I guess we know. But so resident services, Kelly wanted me to mention that we have a new partner that we can work with. It is a new durable medical equipment, or DME company, that will be coming to present education to all of our residents and are available to schedule appointments and repairs. So they're with Pinellas Medical Supply, and his name is Jared Scallions, and he's the owner of Pinellas Medical Supply. And he'll be here on Tuesday, July 8th at 1 p.m. in Grand Lobby South. So Kelly will be placing flyers in your boxes if you are interested in his services and that information. And Kelly did want to mention to return the forms to her by Monday, July 7th. So she'll get those in your box. And if there's anything specific you do need, turn those forms into her so she can help you with that. That is, again, your durable medical equipment. Any repairs you might need, any new equipment you might need, this would be your opportunity. And it's a new provider that we are working with. So a little bit of COVID. We have a couple cases flying around. We have one resident in the south, and I actually have one of my team members with COVID. So just want to make sure that we are keeping an eye on that. Sometimes it can present as allergies. I probably COVID test myself weekly just because of my allergies to rule out COVID. But just want to make sure that we're keeping that abreast. It is flying around. Not a huge outbreak, not seeing a whole lot, but we do still have a couple active cases. So just want to make sure that we communicate that and raise awareness around that. So I know we've talked about this in the past, but please just remember with the scammer awareness, there are so many out there, there's so much flying around, but if anybody is calling and asking for your personal information, is asking to help you get on your computer, no, and hang up. Don't talk to them, don't give them information, don't think they're there to help you. It is more than likely a scam. So we just want to keep this reminder on here because it's come up a couple times now, and I've had residents come see me that have told me the various instances that have happened, and it is still very much frequently occurring. So please, please, please take awareness and take heed. We want to keep mentioning this so it's front of your mind. We don't want you to have any issues with that. So I know we met last week and went over our hurricane preparedness, so we should have all of your forms by now. We do now have out at the front the list to sign up for any of the equipment you would like us to order for you, or supplies, should I say. Any of the supplies, they are at the north desk and the south desk. So just sign up there if you want us to order those items for you, and we will get that taken care of. They're lanterns, lights, those types of supplies. Chargers and water bladders. So that'll be out there for the next couple of weeks. We'll get those ordered so we are all ready for hurricane. So this week, of course, in activities, we'll have today, Tuesday the 24th, the Solinaires performance at 1:30 here in Town Hall. Wednesday the 25th, vocal cords at 12:45, Grand Lobby South. Thursday the 26th, we're doing the clothing swap, setup and drop off from 9:30 to 4 here in the Town Hall. And then Friday the 27th is the actual event from 10 a.m. to 3 in the Town Hall. And then Saturday on the 28th, we will have vocal cords summer concert at 7:30 here in the Town Hall. So just a little bit from, oh, that one is old. I don't know what happened there, Betsy. That was an old slide. That one's out, that's from last week, so I won't go over that with you. But we were just going to update on sales. We have a budget of about 17, and we are currently at 16 sales, so they are working strong. They have about one more week. So we are hoping to make sure we are at budget for sales by the end of this quarter. As I mentioned, it's been our busiest quarter, and they've worked really hard, so we really appreciate all of the resident ambassadors and the marketing. We do have a marketing event this Thursday, another Gift of Life Care. This is always a really fantastic event for residents to know exactly what we do and why you move into a community like ours. So that is actually going to be Thursday. We have a smaller group this time, but sometimes that's better. More intimate, you're able to have a little bit more one-on-one and really kind of do a deep dive into those questions. So as far as food and beverage, we've got the Enchanted Evening is tomorrow. So that will be a Enchanted Evening luau that will include a pig roast. We've got our theme night tonight, which is the Chuck Wagon theme. Pub will be closed for dinner service, just an FYI. And then tacos and tequila on Tuesday, the 1st. So just lots and lots of events going on between food and beverage and activities. Just another reminder, I like to keep this up there. I don't think we're continuing to have issues. I haven't heard it for a while, but I just wanted to keep it up there just in case. If you're having issues with that full count portal, the code is Regency Oaks. And then this is just a little bit. So I know you don't spend a whole lot of time with our HR team. I know they're kind of more so employee facing, but they are just as busy as the rest of us. So Jamie is actually our new recruiter, and Layla and Jamie actually promoted Regency Oaks and our brand at Pinellas Technical College. So that is a college that we work with to get LPNs, nurses, CNA, certified nursing assistants, culinary, and maintenance. So we actually went out there about 2 weeks ago. We do this quite frequently to go to various job fairs and various entities that we partner with to fill our positions and to recruit. So it's a really, really great event. Dustin and Dawn actually attended as well. And they had the Culinary Advisory Board to weigh on development of skills for students. So again, this is, we work with a couple different entities, Pinellas Technical College being one of them, and they are one of our outlets for recruitment, for filling our positions. So then just as far as for me, Betsy, this one is the old one. So let's, give me 1 second, guys. We got the last week's presentation up. Let me make sure. Second. Yeah, you don't want to hear all the old stuff.
Probably couldn't remember it anyway.
Just go through it, we'll just think it's new.
That's right, it's new info.
We don't mind hearing it again.
So much changes each week, I need my brain. It's a lot. Oh yes, that's our SharePoint. All the things.
We don't need an IT person.
You don't.
We just need Betsy.
Well, we're doing it to support her too.
See, I can't help all 500 of you.
That's right. There it is.
There it is. From the
You'll have to
beginning.
start over.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, there we go. It's like, I know my updates, and that's not it. Thank you, Betsy.
So just to kind of give an update on CapEx projects, we did not have a whole lot approved for the residents other than the elevators. One of the big projects we're working on is our administrative phones. That is still in process. Not a whole lot to report on that, just a lot of humbug back and forth with the vendor. But we will, of course, be needing those before our phones die on us. So the elevator is still very much moving along quite well. It's now in the hands of ownership. They are going back and forth with a couple of the vendors as well. And we will start getting that process in place and ordering parts. It does take about 6 months because those parts are custom. So we are still on track for that. We have not forgotten, and it is still underway. Blue Team, as we've mentioned, we have about 4 different projects going on with them. The remediation of the restoration of Milton has now been mostly completed in IL. They are now completed in skilled nursing, and they have moved over into assisted living, and they have 1 more apartment in assisted living to complete. So making great progress there as well. We did, unfortunately, we know that Pam had a significant health event. She has officially resigned from Regency. I think she was nearing retirement age, and with the recent health event, kind of expedited that. So we wish her all the luck in the future, and we will, of course, get her position filled, but she has officially resigned from our IHS program. She will no longer be our nurse, but we have had Anna here for the last few months, helping assist with that, and we will get that position filled permanently. So we've still been able to meet your needs with medication reminders and administration, and nothing to worry about. Just want to make sure that we can communicate that. We continue to have our Blue Team calls. We actually meet with them daily, twice a day, in the morning and at night. Yes, I basically feel like I work for Blue Team. So we meet with them twice a day, and then we have a weekly regional call as well. So that will be tomorrow. I just, again, wanted to mention, I know I mentioned this last time, but the dining room will have that plastic up there for a couple months until we get that roof fixed. So it will still be there. We can still eat in the dining room. It's not the prettiest, but it's doing the job until we can get that flat roof fixed, because it is a different scope than the roofs we're working on now. I mentioned this last week briefly before we got into the hurricane updates and hurricane presentation, but we did meet with pest control. It is nesting season for the wasps. However, we are working on, and they have been out routinely addressing the lower levels. So that's your first and second floor, or carports, breezeways, those areas that they can reach, and we are still going to be working on getting the lift rented to get those higher levels. So that is still underway, but we at least have been able to get the company to help us address the lower levels that are reachable. So again, it is nesting season, so they will possibly come back, but we are routinely, they were here last week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they'll be here again helping with those various areas. So I know we've mentioned it a couple times, but we are still preparing for our resident survey. So we've got about the last of our plans finalized for that as a team, so we'll be rolling that out soon. We basically start that process around the middle of August is when we actually get those surveys. So we will be communicating that timeline closer to then, but it is on its way. I haven't forgot about the ceiling and the caulking yet. I'm still working with Blue Team on the plan for that. Lots, of course, up in the air with the insurance claim, but again, still making good progress and lead way with everything in general. We are beginning budget calls for 2026. Can believe we are halfway through the year and already at that time. We usually start around September, October. but we actually are starting a little earlier this year. Really, at this point, it doesn't even involve me. It's more of a high-level preliminary calls at the ownership and regional level. So we will be communicating with our finance committee and our board closer to the time when it does involve you. But just wanted to mention, we are starting to have those calls and get that timeline kind of ironed out. So as we mentioned, the roof, you asked for the roof is here. So it is changing a little bit each day, just because of the weather, like I mentioned. So kind of had a whole plan in place a couple weeks ago, and then things have changed a little bit. But nonetheless, they are currently prepping the north R wing today. There is a couple of the spots from the EV charging area that will be tied up, but we can use those before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. They're only going to tie up those spots for about a week while they take care of that area. But I did just want to mention that. We are looking to possibly start the south A wing tomorrow if they get their lift. So I will know more later today, and Betsy will be communicating as much as possible as soon as we know the plan. But we are kind of at the mercy of Blue Team and how this day shakes out. So as you can see, there's lots of moving parts, very large project, and we all live here. So please bear with us. We're not going to know every minute-by-minute play. We're not going to know every detail, but just know the project's in place. It is underway, and we will get it completed, and we will communicate as much as possible along the way as we know and as things transpire and potentially change. So as I mentioned, that flat roof that is related to the dining room damage, that is excluded from this. This was the original Milton claim, these major roofs from the original Milton claim. The insurance adjuster evaluated that flat roof and said, this was not related to Milton, it's just old. So that was not included, so that will be a different process and a different means of us addressing it. But nonetheless, we are still working on that. So when you ask, why are they not doing the flat roof with the rest of the roofs, that is the why. As I did mention last time, we've got about a 3-month time frame for the roof project. Hoping to stay no more than maybe 4, but again, the rain has been a barrier, but nonetheless, they are doing as much as they can. They are also on a timeline, obviously, with it being an insurance claim, so they are working as quickly as possible as well. So as my daily disclaimer, we are at the mercy of the insurance adjusters and Blue Team. We don't control the insurance timeline. I don't control Blue Team's timeline. So the roof and the projects will not be done by hurricane season. We might have leaks and issues, but we will obviously address them and take care of everything we can, as we always have all along the way. So we will continue to get rain. I think we've made some good progress in getting a lot of the major areas addressed. We are continuing to do so. Obviously, when the roofs are taken care of, then we will be in a much better place, and we will be there in about 3 months. So with that, just another high-level photo. I showed this last time just to remind you of the working days. They are working Monday through Sunday, again, because they are also on a timeline, about 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The lab work on the roof is typically going to be from 8 to 6. And that's just kind of their hours. It's tentative, was supposed to start the 16th and going until about end of September. So again, this is just kind of a tentative, high-level timeline. I showed this last week, so we'll be communicating as we move into these various areas and these various phases. And we'll just kind of communicate one calls and weekly Tuesday talks, building and grounds, maintenance of any potential other changes that do come up and occur. So other than that, that's all the updates I have for you this week. Not too much, huh? Any questions I can take for you? Miss Melanie?
Hi. I'd first like to say that all of us are very grateful when we have emergencies here that the staff comes in and makes sure we're all taken care of. But my question has to do with the fact that I live on the first floor of the north building, the S wing, and I overlook the shipping area and the parking lots. This past weekend, there were sprinklers on a grassy area that I can see from my apartment, and they were on all weekend. And I did report it to the receptionist, who said there's no one here to take care of it. And it was an awful lot of wasted water. She put in a work order and the sprinklers were turned off Monday morning. But I'm just wondering if there isn't any kind of way we could have someone here on the weekend who could handle such problems.
So we do have maintenance that's here on the weekends, actually both days, as well as security. Remember, those sprinklers are managed by that Smart Rain technology. So that is just something that we need to work with the company for. So I'll follow up with Darwin, but we do have somebody here. So thank you for letting me know. Any other questions? Yes, Miss Candy?
Thank you. Especially with the rain yesterday, that made me think, can we have access to extra towels, which we've done in the past?
So what we're doing is Evan's actually offering that, I don't know the fancy name for it, but it's something that kind of helps absorb water. And I believe that is one of the items that is on the supplies list, but yes, of course. Any other questions? All right, well, happy Tuesday. Have a great day. Thank you as always for attending. Appreciate your support.